my precious. Yes, it is my first Madison magazine. Peter Jackson is working currently on new Lord of the Rings films for Warner Bros. Strategy Inc. 2026. This following project, this following movie will be based on the character of Gollum, with Andy Serkis set to star and direct. It is the flash news from the HollywoodReporter.com, and I'm bringing it to you, my friends, Madison magazine, in case you're a truly fan of the Lord of the Rings. You're working in The Hunt for Gollum, working titled with Andy Serkis to set a star and both direct this new movie with writing partners Frank Welsh and Philippa Boyens from the first trilogy, The Lord of the Rings, one of the most beloved trilogies of these fantastic movies. So far, I have to say I'm a personal big fan of the first three movies of The Lord of the Rings, but I have to say that personally that I'm not such a big fan of the Hobbit trilogy and of this series of Amazon Prime, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, and it is not only my thought, it is the common thought, because let's check out the numbers. Rotten Tomatoes, the first trilogy averaged 90%, 91, 95%, the Fellowship of the Ring, 95%, the Two Towers, and 94, 86% of the Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. And if you look at the Hobbit trilogy, you will find the same things I'm just telling you: 64%, 75, 59%, and finally, if you look at the Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, it is 83% from the Tomatometer and 38% from the audience score. That only means one thing: the true fans of the first trilogy of the Lord of the Rings are not such a big fans of the subsequent movies or series as well. And I believe, and it is my thought, that this movie of the Hunt of Gollum, it will be kind of the same stuff, not the same vision of Peter Jackson back on the early 2000s, because it is the soundtrack, it is the cast, the landscapes. It is all perfect within the first trilogy, and the theme was so fresh at that time. But nowadays, these Middle Earth topics are not the only ones. The Lord of the Rings has serious competition with what we saw on the Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones takes these Middle Earth kind of spot scenes and characters and the story, but it is more realistic. And if you watch this Hobbit and also what we just saw with the Rings of Power, they still have these fantastic characters, these fantastic creatures that are not so popular right now. I believe this The Hunt of Gollum will be pretty much the same. I believe they have to stick to what it works right now, not what it worked like 20 years ago, because if not, it would be another failure. And they also have to be with the same vision that Peter Jackson had in the early 2000s. You can let me in the comments if you are already expecting for that movie. I am not such a big fan of Gollum as a character. I am a big fan of the movie, but not of the character Gollum with Andy Serkis. I believe it is overrated. You can let me in the comments what do you think you're expecting for this movie or not. Thanks so much for watching my video. I'm Super Bob. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Madison Magazine. Bye bye.